Hey everybody, I'm Kelsey and this is Cassidy and Katie. And thanks so much for coming to our YouTube channel where we talk about the course Write Your Way to Freedom. A lot of people have a lot of questions and we have three different unique answers from three people who have actually taken the course. So we hope that you find this information helpful. Feel free to browse all of our questions in the notes below. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them and we'll try and get to them in one of our next recordings. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about, could I have learned the information you learned in Write Your Way to Freedom on your own? Do I really need the course? I have a lot of opinions around this question. If you go down like the Reddit rabbit hole, you'll find all these people that are like, you don't need to pay X amount of money for a course, just like read books and like study the classics and blah, 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 blah. There are all these people that will say like, you don't need it. But here's why that logic is flawed. First off, you have to know the right questions to ask in order to find the information that you're looking for. So if you know specifically what kind of copy you want to write, and then who, the greats are within writing that type of copy, sure, you can start to search for them. But as you're looking for more modern day practices and different specifications within different copy, you have to know to look for those things. And if you don't know to look for those things, then you will never learn them on your own. Second, there is hundreds and thousands and millions of pieces of content out there for you to learn from, which is amazing, but it's also difficult. And the fact that you have to be able to distill what information is right and what information is wrong, and who do you trust giving you that information, and whose advice do you take? Because you will find contradicting advice. You'll find people who tell you whatever you do, don't niche your first year. You'll find people who tell you you absolutely have to niche your first year. You'll have people read blog posts that say it's okay to say XYZ in an email. And so for me, at least, I had no idea where to start, and I had tried to figure it out on my own and I had failed. Like, full stop. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what to look for in jobs. I didn't know what to look for in clients. I didn't know what to look for continuing education. I didn't know where my gaps were because I didn't have a course saying like, these are the things that you have to fulfill in order to be really successful at this. And two, I wanted to make sure that I had one person telling me what to do, that I wasn't trying to piece together information from 4 or 5 different places to try and create the knowledge that I needed in order to do this. So the answer to the question is, could you learn everything that's in the course on your own? Yeah, absolutely. But do you know where to search? Do you know what to search? And do you know who you can trust to get that information? Those are the bigger questions.
Yeah, I agree with that, with everything you said, Kelsey. And I would add too, Sarah's teaching approach isn't like, this is my way to do it and this is the way you have to do it. Like, one of my favorite things about Sarah is that she's so open-handed with her expertise and the information she has, and she has taken the time to lay things out. And everything she'll say to you, she'll be like, this is how I did it. I think this is what works. I've heard other people do this. Like, she will give you other points of views. It's not like you're just going after this one person and like building your own carbon copy of her business. I love the way that she wants to give people the information they really need, and then wants to empower them to ask those other questions and to find those other answers. So I think that is one thing that is done really well. And I would add to your point, Kelsey, about not knowing the questions to ask, not knowing where to look. I would also say building a business and learning a new skill is like 100 little like flash bulbs constantly of like, I need to do this, and then I need to do this. And then it's just like this whirlwind of to-dos. And for me, I just feel like it's so easy to get just like spinning around in circles, always feeling like you have 37,000 things on a to-do list that is jumbled and disorganized. And I feel like what Write Your Way to Freedom does so well is just the step-by-step approach. It's broken down into modules. You do module 1, you check the box. You do module 2, you check the box. It like demystifies and distills every part of the process down into just like the easiest step-by-step process. So to your point, could you do all of these things on your own? Yeah, of course you could. I guarantee you, you will not do it as efficiently. It'll take you 10 times as long by the time. I mean, think of how long every time you try to find an answer to something on Google, you like type it in, you read 5 different articles, then you try to figure out where they overlap, because that must be where the truth lies, because more than one article has highlighted it. Where do they contradict? Which one's the right one? You're trying to discern these things without having the expertise to be discerning, which is really hard. So yeah, I would say yes. And also, what is your time worth? Because that's the thing, when we look at a price tag of this, like, yes, you're paying for someone's expertise. Yes, you're paying for all these resources. And also, how many hours might you waste of your own time trying to reinvent the wheel that you just don't have to do. It's so, so inefficient. So yeah, that would be my answer to that question.
Okay, you all have like pretty much said everything that I want to say. But yeah, this question always makes me giggle because there are like two huge factors at play. First of all, in most of our situations, we had never even heard of the word copywriting when we came across Write Your Way to Freedom. So, like, on one leg, you're potentially going to do something and you just learned the definition of that thing, much less like the billions of tiny things that it entails. And then on the other hand, you're going to build a business around that thing, which is probably something most of us also have never done. So you have like these two, I mean, it's pretty much like these two ventures that you're starting out doing on your own with like absolutely no clue of what to do. And I think back to the questions that I had in the beginning when I was first starting my business, and they were like the biggest questions in my head were the most simplest. Like, how do I send an invoice? And like, what do I include on my invoice? Like, could not figure it out to save my life. And to think that if I didn't have Write Your Way to Freedom, I would have spent like 30 minutes trying to Google it and then trying to figure out like which invoicing software to go with and all this other stuff. Whereas you have this dedicated course, it's being like, oh, you need to figure out how to send an invoice. Like, here are some options and just like go with one. And if you have questions, reach out to the community. And that's like another unsung hero of Write Your Way to Freedom is just the community that you get access to. Because especially in the beginning, as you have all of those questions, if you're not finding the information you need in the course, like you can ask the group, you can bounce ideas off of each other. So rather than being stuck in this situation where like you don't know how to move forward because these huge unknowns are in front of you. And even though you're researching information, you just feel paralyzed by all of your options. Like it gets you going so fast. And yeah, like you all said, you just can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah, the community is such a good point. And also you have access to Sarah. I mean, like forever. Once you buy the course, you have access to her forever. She has live Q&As every Wednesday. You can submit your question to, I can't tell you the number of times I've had a question that I was like, oh, I wish I could ask someone about this. And I think about putting it to the group. And then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I actually just want Sarah's input on this. And so you can anonymously submit a question. She herself will hop on the Zoom with the group. She will answer it for you, give really thorough answers. There's also, I think the way it's structured now is you get a year free of all these extra coaching, like Q&As with Ryan and Shelly and Jacob and Kristen and people who make tens of thousands of dollars a month in their own copywriting business, who run very different types of copywriting business that once again, Sarah has chosen on purpose because they have such different vantage points, such different experiences than her. So I mean, she's so good at saying like, oh shoot, I don't know. I've never had to do that. But you know, who would know is Jacob. And like, we'll just direct you to the expert that's the right fit for you. So it's, again, you're not just getting this one person's like narrow view of the right way to do it. You're getting a tried and true outline of how to do this the most efficiently, and then access to experts who can weigh in and really give you that information.
Yeah. And also, there's something so energizing about being surrounded by people who have done and are doing the same exact thing that you want to do. I imagine without the community aspect of Write Your Way to Freedom, probably would have attempted copywriting for like a week and then been like, nope, not for me. But because you're surrounded by people who have built all of these successful businesses, and you can bounce questions off of them, and you have people who are a tad bit further ahead from you, a tad bit behind you, like, people are just all over the place. I don't know. There's so much energy around that. I like it.
Really just want to emphasize too, there is like learning how to become a copywriter and like, can I find out how to do this online? And then there's like creating a business that works for you. And that alone, good luck finding that online. Like good luck finding someone who's really going to walk you through the mindset work that you need to do, like thinking about how you should charge people. And also it's not coming like, this is how I do it. And this is the cookie cutter thing. Now apply it to your life. Like to have that like fluidity is something that I think is really unique to Sarah's course. You will continue to change and grow, and your business will continue to change and grow. And you will continue to need resources on it in order to change and grow. And like, we're kind of riding it. Like millennials are kind of the first to be like, I don't really want this corporate 9 to 5 where I work at the same place forever and I never end up in management. You know what I mean? Like we're trailblazing it. There's nowhere else that you can go on the internet to like learn how to do this aside from each other. And so, I mean, there probably is somewhere, but it's exhausting to me to think about trying to find that community that's like genuine, supportive, not just a coach trying to make tons of money off of other people, and that really is able to help you build a business that's best for you. And it's really like your guiding light that's a part of it. And the information that you get to pick and choose what fits. So building a business is hard. It's a whole different skill compared to becoming a really great copywriter, because you can become a great copywriter and then work a 9 to 5. That's an option. But owning your own business, finding clients, doing your own marketing, positioning, website, like passive products, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, one of the most like frustratingly beautiful things about life and especially entrepreneurship is that there's no one right way to do anything and there are billions of possibilities. And I think just having a path to follow without having to consider like anyone else's input is such a relief, especially as someone who like tends to overanalyze and like want all of the information before I make a decision. Like it's so nice to just be like, no, you've paid for this resource, block everything else out and just follow this plan.
I loved too, Kelsey, that you touched on the mindset part, because I think that's such an easy thing to overlook. Like I remember when we started, I honestly think that we should do an entirely separate video just about like, is the mindset part important? And the answer is yes. But like that part blew my mind. I was like, mindset, what in the world? But like that in itself, I don't know if you guys have both felt this way, but I feel like entrepreneurship to me instantly showed me there's nowhere to hide. Like if you are in a 9 to 5 and you don't like your job, you can blame it on your crappy coworkers. You can blame it on your boss. You can blame it on your commute. You can blame it on the work you do that you don't like. You know what? When you run your own business, it's all on you. If you don't like your clients, you brought them into your business. If you don't like the work you're doing, you chose to do it. So like there's work to be done there, and it brings up a lot of stuff, and it brings up, I mean, like a lot of insecurities, and it brings up a lot. I mean, there's nowhere to hide. And so to have that kind of support also of this like mental, emotional health of just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm failing, like all these people in your corner to be like, I've been there. You're not going crazy. This is just hard. And here's how I did it. I mean, I think like the emotional support you get from the community and from the tools that Sarah herself has built into this course for like emotional, mental, mindset resilience are priceless, absolutely priceless. And it bleeds out into other areas of your life too. Like, I think those benefits that you get as you're trying to cultivate yourself as a sturdier, more emotionally healthy entrepreneur make you a sturdier, more emotionally healthy human, which is amazing.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. Because thinking back, like, I don't think my personal self development journey started until I signed up for Write Your Way to Freedom. And the mindset work just brought out so much stuff that I was like, oh crap. And I think you're right, though. It's because you don't have any place to hide. You're like, if it's up to me to create this business that like brings me joy and works with my lifestyle and allows me to reach my dreams, whatever that is, like, I got to do some mindset work.
This is definitely a question we should circle back to. So I've added it to our list. Another great reason to just stay tuned, subscribe if you want. Thanks so much for tuning into our video today. I'm Kelsey and this is Katie and Cassidy. And together we talk about what it's like to be in the program Write Your Way to Freedom to help you determine if it's the right fit for you or not. If anything from the videos today resonated with you or made you decide like, yes, this is it, I want to sign up, it would mean the world to us if you used our referral code. For full transparency, we do get a little bit of a monetary kickback every time somebody signs up that we split between the 3 of us. And we also make a $100 donation to World Central Kitchen, which you can find out more information on via the link in our notes. So thanks so much for tuning in and check out the rest of our questions. We've probably answered the one that you have. Bye.